morning, my sweet peas. Today I am not here to do a makeup look. That's kinda obvious, I think. But people have been asking me constantly how I make my headpieces. And it's not that hard, you just need to use things you would normally throw away. I'm a herder, I keep everything. This one is an old thing that has had its best time. It's actually ready to be buried. It's dead already. But I want to show you with this what I actually use. These are just plastic diadems, you know, just the thing that you pop on your head to hold your hair back. This is what you need. This was a double one. I now see that it is broken there, but we can fix that. That's no problem, because this one I have worn too often and I would like to try to take it apart and use that to make our new one. I don't know if it's gonna work. If it breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't break, we will have a very good base for our project. Now, it's going very well. I just wanted to take new ones, but actually this is coming off pretty good. And that's the advantage of using hot glue. You can just pluck it off of everything again. I'm gonna show you a couple of things that I use. Of course, I have my glue guns, my weapons of the day. I got a big one, I got a small one. Most important thing is I try to find the white filling. They're very hard to find in this size. In this size you can find them everywhere. They throw them at your head if you're not careful. And this is the piece that I had made a couple of days ago and which you people seem to love so amazingly. Well, I want to make something like this, but simple. We're gonna go a little bit lower to the ears, so that like this, if I put that on, it stands on top of my head, or on top, yeah, now I only have two hands, you know. If you put it on, that's where it stays. But here is your face. So that stands really high on top of your head. Plus you have a wig, that's where it's gonna come, and here is your face. So actually that is way too high. You gotta build more around and more down, even to on top of where it should be and wear it in front of your ears. Now this one is made with just two plastic tiaras, let's call it tiaras. Two plastic tiaras that I had glued together with such a piece of lace. Just glued them together in a bit of a distance so that I had room to work on. Plus I could glue onto that lace and I had already a base that's wide enough to build upon. Because you see, that's almost just the width I used for the horns and for everything. Then my biggest friend of all, to make it stronger than a one-time wear, is just cardboard. Like this, if you would cut it out that way, you can go high. That strength comes automatically. But with this, you can make 4 strong back. The rest is all just building up, but I will show you now step by step how I'm gonna do that. First of all, I'm gonna need my headband. I'm gonna take all my glue. Here are the glues. Now if you see, there's one dirty yellow one in there, and those are the ones that you easily find. These are very hard to find here where I live. The small ones those are very easy to get. So I always put the loose ones with me, because you do use a lot of glue on it. Now what I have here are all little flowers in different colors. And I still have a couple of these roses, and they might be the perfect base for this project. Red and black. We'll make a gothic-like one. I'll use red and black. These have got lace and a little bit of shimmer. These are just plain black ones, and then the big red ones. And to fill up, I have smaller. And Simba is explaining for the birds how to make a nest this way. So the very small ones I have in red too. So I just put that ready. I have got bags and bags of stuff that I have kept. There are all shells in this. I still have a pair of horns. Maybe I will use the horns and make me my next project, a gothic crown. Just in case we might not have enough flowers, and we possibly might need some more flowers. But this is a bowl in which I always pour out what I'm going to use, and the last of my big red roses, which are going to be the base for my beautiful gothic. I am gonna start by repairing the headband. I always place it somewhere on something or over the edge. Like here I will put it over the edge, so when it drips it's just on the floor, you scrape and you got it. But wait until it's cold. I have burned these often with it. You never know when you have to fold something, an end of a metal thing, but these are my pliers that I use to cut off all the stitches. There's my little trash bucket. Now on this one there are leaves. Those you can use to fill up, but when I'm gonna cut it there in between, I won't have something strong to glue it on with, so I leave on a piece of the thick wire, and the top I cut away. But I will have something strong that I can glue in that holds it all together. This one, same thing. Cut it off short, not really up to the flower, because they tend to fall apart when you take away their support. So I also have this and this. I may just use this one. This is an old one, again, a reuser, on which these will stick much better. In this stage, instead of starting to glue, I start to map out what I want to do. We can put them like that, or we can put them like that. It makes it look like a clown. I think I'm gonna go for something like that. That is a bit evil, and it'll make the height and the width of the crown very, very visible. So, put on my glue. It's hot very fast, so you don't have to do that a lot in advance. I have also got these, which are very handy to make fast and lightweight headbands. They are metal, and you can also easily use two together as wide as you need to make the bigness of your crown, or just take one for a very fine item, a very fine crown with little, yeah, tiny little flowers, like for a wedding if you would make a veil on this. Very small, fine flowers like these. They are real silk with crystals on them and white ribbon around it, that on top, and the veil attached to it. You can do everything. My fantasy is taking a run with me. So while that's heating up, the first thing I'm gonna do is place a base. It can be a cardboard base. In this case, the horns are going to push that back. So if I want to make a base, I can better make it in between the horns. So I'm waiting for these to be able to put that in place and to size it up. But the simplest crown to make is when you start in this position. I don't know if you can see, but these 3 flowers would be the perfect beginning. If you have more, you take 5 and you have a perfect start for one like this, for instance. As you'll see, I made 1, this centerpiece, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and the pineapples. This was my base. In this one, before I spray painted it, I had my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big ones, and also I let them come a lot lower. The lower you let it get, the more you get it to the side of your head and the less you have to fill with wig. The best is actually if you can go down there or have something dangling from it. But okay, take a last check on how you want to put the horns. That way, that way. This might be very demonic. Yes, this is going to be very demonic. So the first thing is gluing this one on in the position that I want to get it. And I'm also taking my gun, and where I see gaps that I can fill already, I do so, and I give it a good press, because it's not gonna hold everywhere, because these are soft ones and they will not hold just like that. So I'm holding until the glue cools down, and here I still have a gap. But that gap can be solved by just putting in something that fills it up and will get glued in too. So the second horn I'm also gonna put full of glue. And as you see, my first stick is already gone. Now let's see. You can take a ruler and measure these parts so that they are on the same height. The distance in the center you can choose yourself. Do you want to have them close to each other? Do you want to have them far out? That's the same. I've added a little bit more glue there too, so that it can get its strength and position and will hold. We are going to make our first focal point, and that is gorgeous. And what that flower is gonna do is hold the horns together. So let's take hot glue, put in the new thing here, put glue all over the headband, and I'm first of all gonna put glue on the side. Come on, come on, come on, get in there. On the side where the horn is sticking the most terrible. So this flower I am going to stick already good, firm against that horn, and then I will flatten it and glue it onto this horn too. You can also use two flowers. I just do it with this one so that I immediately have a connection between the two horns. Do not burn your fingers, because I burn my fingers every crown or every headpiece I make. Do not do that. Do the rest. There, you see that flower is a bit out of its beautiful shape. No problem. Totally no problem. The next flower will come there or here. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one can come there, and it's full of glue here, or what should I call it? I put glue almost all around the flower, on the sides, because the back is not gonna touch anything. So I'm going to press it against that horn mostly and onto the headband. Inside the flowers you have room enough and strength enough to stick it all together. Pressing it in all directions, do not worry about it, it's going to be covered anyway. And I try to make these two stick on my fingers. That's what I mean, don't do that. But you stick them on just nearly in the same place. So this is the beginning of our crown, and it already looks very good if you ask me, and we haven't almost done anything yet. We just started and it's already halfway done. So now I'm gonna open these black flowers and I'm just gonna pour some on my desktop here. And we always start with the biggest pieces and we build down. So we're back. Now, what do we have? We have some horns that are a little bit crooked. We have our base. What I'm gonna do next, and I will try to show you this way once in a while. Here are red flowers in, and I have the black ones too, and I always put them in this bowl. Because when I don't, they will be on the floor within 10 seconds. There it goes. What did I say? On the floor. So now these two will have to fill up either the center or something down here. Now if I use them down here, they will come very far to the front and they will take away everything from the back flower. I was thinking, what if I put this one there and this one here and keep that as my center and build with black and smaller flowers in the front. What do you think? I don't know what you think. I'm thinking Lomira. I like that, but I also like it when they would be here in the horn or in front of the horn or halfway in front of the horn. I don't know. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put them there like I had in mind. And it's gonna make an extra steady connection between the rose and the horn so that the horn will not be going anywhere soon. That's that. And I let it shape, and then I look. This one has a flatter side on this side, and I always put glue in between the first leaves that are gonna touch an edge so that it really holds on close enough. So this will be our second project already. So you will already know that making everything come together is not only for the prettiness, for the beauty of it, but also this, for instance, will keep those flowers together. And I try to aim for the center. Now these dark red flowers are actually everything to make crowns with. They take in a lot of place, they give great support, and that color is divine. I buy them in a craft store or from Wish or anywhere you come where there are flowers, buy them. Just buy them. You know you need them. Now I would like to take these red ones. I can make a row of red that I only stick to each other and the back, not on Mr. Foamhead here. He's had enough of latex and glue. So I'm gonna start with one flower on this side. I'm gonna attach it to the flower, to the red flowers and to the horn, but not on the bottom. There's no glue on the bottom. Second one, and we're gonna be switching from side to side. So not stick one here and start an entire row. No, we are going to build up symmetrically. See, you just push it in and it stays. The first ones you gotta hold real good, but you don't have to do that with these. Now, I think a couple of black ones, or even just one black, will be very nice there. I am gonna press that flower a bit so that it's really sticking to the horn. You look and see that the shape of the flowers is almost the same on both sides. And this is kind of a styrofoam. I don't know how it's called actually. But that melts if you keep heat on for too long. So what I do, I take that flower with the glue and I really press it in so it melts the materials together. And that flower will stay very, very firmly on that horn, which will give extra support. Again, it's all about support. Now to keep this crown nicely strong together, you can turn it around, and here you can glue on either a piece of fabric, like this old elastic, or you can just take a piece of cardboard that you cut and glue together to that. But what you can also do, and that's what I'm gonna do, you can take this, for instance, take a piece, or just from the roll itself, put it against a horn, and put it against this horn, cut it to size, the rest in the trash, and then with your glue gun make sure it's steady against all the rest, and you know it melts together because it's plastic. It will melt and get one with your texture. Now, it's just a plastic tape, but that stuff ain't going nowhere anymore. I like it already and it's not halfway done. Now we're gonna have to fill up this gap to make it even. Now I hold the flowers in the front with the petals pressed together and I place glue on the back and the side. And that I'm gonna put there, against the rose, against the horn. And that's perfect. The other one, I put the glue more to that side. Take it, put it in there. Make sure it got contact everywhere and that it's about the same height or width. And it is not, but don't worry, I'm gonna let it be unsymmetrical. I'm gonna leave it like that. So you see, that's wrong. They both go that way. Wrong. I'm gonna leave it. Because what I'm gonna do anyway, and these two, oh, the poor thing's got a headache. It's heavy on its head, you know. I put the scissors on his bottom to keep him together, to keep him standing up. I let them touch. I let this one touch. And as by magic, I put a circle of glue around this one. And I'm gonna press that there on the flower and on the third black flower. I'm gonna do the same on this side. Coming down, facing forward, against that flower, against the rose. And now be a little bit worked off with fantasy, so I'm gonna put one red one there and one red one here. And do you see it coming together? 3, 3, and the red one. You can push and squish everything into place, into size, into mostly symmetry. With these crowns, you need symmetry. Now these come with little metal wires in it, but the metal wires are to attach them to something, but not to hold the flower together. So you can just pull them out and the flower will stay nicely complete. So I just pluck them. And these are my filling materials. I just hold them with the little tip of the flower. I put some glue in the back and they are perfect to fill up these spaces. You see? I didn't put glue on the lower part. I take my glue, I put one drop on one side and that side I pop in between my other flowers and it'll stick right away like that. And I can take one black here in the center, will be very, very nice. I'm only putting glue on the top half moon, like so. So I can put it right in the center and it'll stick to the two side flowers and to the back rose on top. So now what I want to do is put something up here. You see, there's a gap. I leave a gap here too. so that I can pop in a little black one. Also easy, if you put your glue there, you can just pop in the flower without burning your fingers. So there, a block of glue, a flower, and pop it in where you want to have it. Now this is already, it's already a crown, but it's not enough crown for me, because I know if I wear it like this, this part is gonna come there. So as you see, here are the eyes. So my eyes and the crown will begin there. You see? So I'm gonna build me a little bit more down here and just pop one black flower in there. Just there is a gap saying, we need a flower. Let's pop it in soon. We need a flower, and still before noon. We need a flower. Where did I get that stupid song? Bam! Ready! Isn't it gorgeous already? I love it. I love it. So this is just a two-toned crown. All I'm doing, filling up some gaps. Here's a gap. Here's a flower. And there's a flower in the gap. And every time I do something on the left, I do it on the right too. That's all I'm doing to finish this off. That's all there is to it. And as you see, I put glue on the side that comes to the tiara and the side that comes to the flower. So there and there. I switch hands and I'm gonna glue it against the flower and against the tiara. There you go. Bam! Now, as you can see, this is what we've made. This is our demon crown that we have made together. Let's give ourselves a hand. And I want to see the results of your crowns.